All right, it is Monday. There are no kings, but we have a birthday queen.
Thank you.
Sunny Hostin is here. How are you?
Thank you. I'm great. You know, I never liked working on my birthday before I started working
At the View?
At the View. Yeah, I would always take the day off, and I would go to the spa or I go to dinner with my family. It was my day off. And the first time that I had my birthday here, I thought this is a really cool way to spend your birthday because we're kind of like a family here, so it's fun.
It definitely feels that way, and the birthdays, the View does birthdays pretty well, I think.
Really, really well, and it's just tailored to each person.
Exactly.
And I did exactly what I wanted to do. So it's nice working on your birthday when you work here.
How do you feel about birthdays in general? Do you dread them? Do you enjoy them? I kind of enjoy the day.
I enjoy them just because what's the alternative, you know? And I have friends and relatives that have died early, in their 30s, and in their 40s, and I think it's such a blessing to get to see another day, live another year around the sun. 57 years old today, and
you look great.
Thank you. It feels good.
Life is good. I mean, it's hard to hard to begrudge it.
My kids are happy. I'm in a happy marriage.
Yeah.
My parents are both with me. You know, it's good.
That's great. Well, God willing, another great year coming up. All right, let's talk about what we had on the show today.
Yes.
Besides your birthday, we had Senator Bernie Sanders with us today, and he was locked in. It's been a while since he's been at the table.
Yes, he was locked in, sharp. He has, in my view, the message that I think Democrats and independents and even maybe some Republicans are clamoring for, which is this is a government that's supposed to be for the people, by the people, of the people. And that's not what we're seeing. And there should be no kings. And there certainly shouldn't be someone in the White House that seems to care about some Americans and not care about other Americans. And I just think that he is sort of emblematic of what people want right now. Because this, like, democratic socialism has become such a dirty word because of its connection with socialism. I think most people don't understand what a democratic socialist is, and I think he did a pretty good job of explaining that it's really about the people. It's about sort of equality for all. It's about universal health care. It's about universal pre-K. It's about Social Security. There's nothing on a list of, let's say, an AOC agenda or a Bernie Sanders agenda that I think a normal person that's a good person, a good humanitarian would disagree with. I mean, should people have health care as a human right? Yeah. Shouldn't everybody be able to get a free education? Yes. Shouldn't our children not be hungry? Yeah. So shouldn't our seniors be taken care of? Yes. If you disagree with any of those things, I don't want you representing me. So
Right.
I think he did a great job of explaining what that platform
And that's different
looks like.
than saying that you don't like capitalism, as I asked
Right.
the woman adorned with diamonds. Right.
I actually am very much, as you know, like, don't be fooled by the rocks that I got. You know, I didn't grow up with diamonds.
Absolutely.
And so I know very well what it's like to live paycheck to paycheck. I know very much what it's like to live in poverty. I know what that looks like. I still have friends that live in the projects. I know that life. It's a blessing that I have what I have.
It's about giving people an equal
worked
footing
pretty
to
hard,
earn.
but
which you've done.
I got a chance, and there are a lot of people that just don't get that chance. And I've never considered myself a democratic socialist, but boy, do I believe in the platform. I really do.
You made a point of asking him about the New York City mayoral race, and particularly Democratic Socialist Zoran Mondani.
Yeah.
Why was that? Why was that important to talk to him about?
Because, you know, when we have so many politicians, as you know, that come on the show, you can tell the difference between someone that's, you know, an okay politician and someone that has harnessed this sort of electricity and this energy. And I felt that when Mondani was here. And he was refreshing, he was smart, he was sharp, and he seemed to have his finger on the pulse of at least our crowd, but certainly New Yorkers and young New Yorkers in particular. So I wanted to know, and I know that Bernie has been, Senator Sanders rather, has been campaigning with him. And I wanted to know, is this where the Democratic Party should be? Is Mondani, who people, I know Alyssa often says on our show that Trump wants Mamdani to win, that, the Republicans want Mamdani to be the boogeyman. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think that a lot of people see that energy, see that platform of affordability and healthcare and education, the American dream, and they want a piece of that message. And I think it's resonating. He didn't go so far as to say, yes, he should be the poster child of the Democratic Party, but he didn't disagree with it either.
Right. No, it is interesting, and it actually has a lot of mirrors when you think about it to the way Trump on the right became the person where
cult of personality,
and the establishment didn't necessarily want him to be
right,
but the people seemed to.
Yes, and he destroyed, in many respects, sort of the picture of what the Republican Party was, and maybe the Democratic Party needs that kind of shakeup. And
I've been here long enough to remember Jeb Bush being talked about as the likely.
Yes.
Yeah, and he just mowed everybody.
Didn't happen.
Yeah. All right, let's get your take on this because former Trump National Security Advisor John Bolton pled not guilty to 18 counts of indictment, charging him in unlawful retention and dissemination of national defense information. In your mind, how does his case compare to those like James Comey and Letitia James? I mean, so he's...
Well, I like to compare his case to President Trump's cases.
Oh.
Because if you think about it, President Trump was investigated for also keeping classified information improperly.
That's
right.
Correct.
And so I think what we are seeing is projection. I think we're seeing a vengeful president with unchecked power right now.
It's like litigious whataboutism.
Yeah. And I think we're seeing, to use the legal term, malicious prosecution. And we're not supposed to see that. Now, I am no fan of Bolton.
Yeah.
As you know, I asked him a lot of tough questions. I don't think he answered them. I think he held back information so that he could sell his book for $2 million. And I don't think that is the epitome of a public servant. But I also think that it is un-American and certainly some might argue not legal to weaponize the Department of Justice to punish political enemies. It's just simply not done. I haven't looked deep enough into the Bolton indictment to learn whether or not a career prosecutor, a line prosecutor, presented that case to the grand jury. I'd be surprised if that were the case. 18 counts is a lot, but I suspect it will be dismissed. I suspect all of these cases will go away. No line prosecutors are career prosecutors. They're not really political appointees. You're just there and you just do the job. I was a line prosecutor. You look at a case without fear, without favor, and you determine on the merits whether or not you can prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. And if you cannot do that, that is your oath. If you cannot do that, you do not bring the case. And that is why with Tish James, people decided not to bring a case and left their positions. And let me tell you, prosecutors love being federal prosecutors. That is a lawyer's dream job. To walk away from it means there's no case there. I think the same thing happened with Comey's case. I think a political appointee brought it in front of the grand jury, and I suspect that's what happened with Bolton's case.
Can I ask, were you ever in a position, because I know nothing about this line of work, were you ever in a position where you felt any pressure from any source when you were a line prosecutor?
Yes. Not political pressure, though, not what we're seeing now,
right.
But pressure in the sense that I recall I had a pretty significant case of sexual abuse against a not a politician, but a public servant. And I spoke to the person's victim, and she was going to go forward and she was going to cooperate. And I got and the person's wife, from what I recall, worked in DC government. And I did get a lot of calls. Like, are you sure? What does that look like? Do you have to really do a perp walk? And it was, I'm going to treat this defendant like I would treat any other defendant.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it does exist.
It does exist, but again, you take an oath to do your job without fear or favor.
Right.
That's how it works.
Now, the other big political news this weekend was former Congressman George Santos being released from prison after his sentence was commuted by Trump. We talked to Bernie about it for a moment or two. Did you have any reaction when you heard this? Were you shocked? Were you?
No surprise.
No surprise, right?
No surprise. I mean, he's birds of a feather.
I do.
No surprise.
I do wonder the motivation for it.
Well, I mean, January 6th.
Yeah.
Anyone that I think the president feels was unfairly treated and targeted, he wants to sort of erase it away and normalize fraud.
But this one, it feels like both sides of the aisle were pretty much united on convicting.
He wants to normalize fraud.
Ugh.
He wants to normalize insurrection. He wants to normalize these things. So by pardoning, he's saying you committed no wrong. You committed no crime.
To be clear, he commuted, not pardoned, but still.
Okay, commuted, same difference. You shouldn't serve the sentence that you've been given. What sentence was?
I think it was like 3 years, and I think he served 3 months. Yeah.
I mean that's a message right then and there.
Right. Absolutely. All right, let's switch gears.
Okay.
Here's an advice question I want you to take on. A woman's asked advice on whether friendship should be a one strike and you're out kind of deal when her friends left her off an invite list for a group outing. So I'm curious, are you a one and done type when it comes to friendships, or do you think people deserve more chances? Now, I've been around you long enough to see you've been done with people,
yes,
but it's been pretty egregious.
Yes,
correct. Would being left off of a invite list?
It's not egregious enough.
Okay.
It's not egregious enough. I think that friendships are, you have to show people grace, especially long-term friendships. People have, life lives, people have life going on. And so if somebody leaves you off a list, it just could be accidental, could be intentional. Maybe you did something and that's something that you need to discuss. But if there is something that is very egregious that you can't possibly get over, I think it's fine to walk away and protect your personal peace. I think that's fine. And I have friends that I used to be very, very close to. And then, we're not as close anymore, but we're still friendly. And so you have different buckets for friends. I mean, you have the bury the body friend that you can tell anything and everything. That's my Regina. We're never not going to be friends. And then I've got some other friends that, we were once close, we're not as close anymore. And I put them in that bucket. That's we can go out for cocktails. Right. And we can go to parties, but we're probably not traveling together. Right. So
travel's a high level.
Travel's a high level friend because, you're hanging out, your guard is down. You need to be in a very safe space. So there are some friends that I travel with and some friends that I just have a cocktail with.
Now, when I have seen you cut people off, you're not subtle about it.
No,
you make sure they know.
Well, I think that's the cleanest way to do it because the worst thing is for someone to think that you're friends and you're not. So I have been known to say things like, I'm sorry our friendship ended this way. And have someone look at me with shock. Right. But, I have complete closure that way. And I think that's a very good way to end relationships. Just, I am sorry this relationship.
The book is closed.
Yeah, I'm sorry this relationship ended this way. People say Libras do that, though.
Yes.
That if Libras don't argue back with you or all of a sudden, they were interested in having a dialogue and now they just smile at you. They have complete closure.
More hot topics than you'd expect come back to astrology on this show. It's very sort J-Lo and the Virgos. Speaking of which.
Yes.
All right. One thing that keeps coming up on the hot topic list, and you've always have thoughts on Jennifer Lopez and her love life. She's been doing press for a new movie. And of course, everyone's asking about her past relationships, which prompted one of her exes to speak out. Now, tell me this. If you had a friend who was dating someone is not good for them, do you step in and say something? Do you let it play out and let them learn the hard way? What's your move there?
Again, it depends on the closeness of the friendship. Most of the time, I think people should find out for themselves. And I've taken that stance many, many times. If it's a really, really close friend, I think you have to say it. I certainly say it to my children if I think that there is someone who's just not good for them.
Sometimes you say it on the podcast.
Sometimes I say it on the podcast. My mom has always been very honest with me about, my friends, people I've dated. She's always been very honest. My grandmother was very, very honest with me. And I will tell you, 10 out of 10, they were always right about it. So that being said, if I'm very close to somebody and I can see that this person is not good for them, I will say it. Now, with Jennifer Lopez, it's unfortunate because her love life is under, a microscope. And I don't think that exes should be talking.
No, I've had people tell me we have a coworker, Robin, who you know very well.
Yes.
And
Love Robin.
love Robin too. And once early on, like 10, 15, no longer, like 20 years ago, I've known her a long time.
Yeah.
I was dating a girl and I was bringing her out with a bunch of people. And she pulled me aside at the bar and told me, this girl brings nothing to the table. Stop bringing her around.
That's a good friend.
Yeah, she wasn't
That's
wrong.
a good friend. I
wasn't
often ask my son, what is she reading?
Yeah.
What is she reading? What does she like to do? What does she aspire to do?
All right. Well, Robin
Tell me
was
about
right.
her family. And Robin was right,
Robin
wasn't
was
she?
right. We don't see her no more.
Correct.
There you go. All right. Before we go, we asked Joy this a few weeks ago,
Okay.
but since it's your birthday, what would you call this current chapter in your life? What would you name it?
Oh.
What era are you in the Taylor Swift parlance?
Oh. I'm in such a delicious era right now. I am
I don't mind the delicious era.
Yeah, I am. I'm in this space where I know myself. I'm comfortable within my skin. I'm happy. I'm coasting.
That's great.
I'm in a delicious area right now.
That's great.
Phase. It's wonderful.
So, Joy said that this is like this last decade's maybe her best, which is pretty good.
Really? That's cool.
It's inspiring, isn't it?
Yes, yes. I mean, I'm 57 again today, and I think when you get into your 50s, women in particular, we get judged a lot. You know, you're old, you're middle-aged, or really even, past middle age. You're eligible for your AARP card,
Right.
which I have one. But I feel better than I felt in my 40s.
That's great.
I think I look better than I looked in my 40s. My brain is firing off quickly, just as quickly, if not quicker. I have more time for myself and for my husband and because my kids are kind of fully formed. It's a really great decade.
That's great. No, I
actually.
feel. I mean, I'm a little younger than you, but not too much,
Yeah.
and I feel as good as I've ever felt too.
Yeah.
So that's a nice thing.
It's delicious.
Yeah. All right. Well, now let's leave on something happy. Thank you for joining me again.
Thank
Happy
you.
birthday,
Thank
Sonny.
you.
Tomorrow I'll be back with Joy, and we'll see you then.